The UAW, United Auto Workers of America, president on CNN. He's getting asked all the standard questions that CNN usually asks of. So they're getting ready to strike. The big three workers for the big three automakers are getting ready to strike, and it would have huge ramifications. And he's getting asked the same thing that the corporate bootlickers of our media, which is all of them, our mainstream media, they do the job of propaganda for big corporate America. So he, as president of UAW, is being asked, well, isn't this going to harm the economy? How dare you harm the economy? So here's his response, which I thought was pretty excellent.
When workers ask for their fair share, it's always the end of the world. And, no one, the last 4 years in general, okay, in the last decade, these companies made $250 billion in profit. In the last 6 months alone, they made $21 billion in profit. In the last 4 years, the price of cars went up 30%. CEO pay went up 40%. No one said a word. No one had any complaints about that. But now, God forbid that workers actually ask for their fair share of equity in the fruits of the labor and the product they produce. And all of a sudden, it's the end of the world. So, if the talking heads, the pundits, the companies want to say that, if we strike, it can wreck the economy. It's not that we're going to wreck the economy. We're going to wreck their economy, the economy that only works for the billionaire class. It doesn't work for the working class.
Hear that, analysts? All right, UAW President Shawn Fain.
And that, of course, is Jake Tapper, whose job is to do propaganda for corporate America, for weapons contractors, for all the worst of the worst. That's what he does. And I assume that was in response that the UAW president was responding to him saying, he's just going to harm the economy. And great answer there about how, it's funny, whenever the workers say they should be paid fairly, suddenly it's going to wreck the economy. But when there are billions of dollars just raked in by the richest of the rich who run these car companies, then there's no discussion of how that's harmful. There's no discussion of how these workers are struggling. There's no discussion really of any of that. But the moment these workers say, hey, I think we should be treated right, then you're going to wreck the economy. And really, it's the richest of the rich who own these companies who are wrecking the economy. If the economy were actually to be harmed by this strike. So let's say the strike happens. Let's say it goes on longer than expected. And let's say it has all these ripple effects throughout the U.S. economy and harms the U.S. economy, exactly as they're portraying. Well, whose fault is that? It's the fucking rich at the top, the billionaires at the top of these car companies, the multi-millionaires and billionaires that own and run these things, the fucking investors and the boards. And they could agree to the workers' demands and still make a big profit, still have a big hunk of change in their pocket. So they're the ones harming the economy, if you want to go that direction with it. But as he says, really, it's going to harm their economy. It's going to harm the way the richest of the rich do things, because we are, again, I'll say it again, in a class war in so many ways in this society, and workers have more power right now than they've had in a long time, and they're using that power, which is exactly what they should do.